right, this is for 90-90 hip internal rotation liftoffs. So this is something that we'll add in after doing something such as pails and rails to increase range of motion and end range strength. This is to help further facilitate that end range strength and solidify some increases in range of motion that we might have achieved during our pails and rails. Setup here is 90-90. Good rule of thumb if your setup is good to start is if your front foot's lined up with the back shin. And then the torso position can vary here depending on the difficulty and how strong you are with that internal rotation. But this front leg here, since our focus isn't here, it could be anywhere from this position down to even in front of the knee here, depending on what's comfortable for the front leg. Our focus here is our back leg. Our goal now is to find our end range and then back off from there. So to find that end range, we're gonna just gently glide that pelvis back, and then I start to feel my stretch there. So I'm gonna back off a little bit from that stretch position, and then I'm gonna cement both my hands into the ground here as if they're steel poles. I'm gonna drive them firmly into the ground here. I'm gonna drive this knee into the ground. I'm gonna tense up my abdominals as if I'm bracing for a punch so that nothing's moving here. The only thing I wanna see moving is my femur rotating in the socket. I don't want to especially see my pelvis shift forward like this during that liftoff. So I'm going to cement everything down, drive that knee into the floor, big breath in. On the exhale, I'm going to do that liftoff. Drive that up as high as I can here. Once I get to that top position, I'm not going to settle for that. I'm going to continue to try to fight for more liftoff. But again, only that rotation in the socket. We don't want to see this happening with the pelvis, because then I'm substituting lumbar spine and pelvis motion for hip motion. We just want that rotation in the socket here. Now, let's say you get into that position and the foot's not lifting from the floor. That's okay. We just have to find an easier position to do that. So option number one is to move the hands and torso further towards that front leg. And then again, doing that lift off from that position, tensing everything up, only having that hip rotate in the socket there. Let's say even when you get here, you still can't get that lift off. Another modification from there would be to go down to the forearm here. And as you can see, I kind of have my front thigh and forearm parallel. Bringing the torso down here is going to make this much easier. Everything else is the exact same. I'm going to tense up the whole body, drive that back knee into the floor, and then lift that foot from the ground. I like to start with a 3-second hold and then always control that descent on the way down. Now, in terms of each rep, like I said, I like to do a 3-second hold and then fight for more for the duration of that 3 seconds. Always control that descent on the way down. And then our goal is not to get this exponentially high lift off here. Our goal is to just have a small lift off from the object. So if you're way back here and you're still lifting more than a couple inches from the floor, you can add something as a yoga block or a pillow or a stack of towels, something underneath the foot so that again, you're just barely lifting a couple inches from the floor there. We don't want to see this ginormous lift-offs with every single rep. Because they're meant to be challenging. They're not meant to be these super easy giant ranges of motion here. And that's it.